First contact. The UES Poseidon glided silently through the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The blue-green orb of Aquarius 7 loomed large, a watery jewel in the cosmic expanse. Final approach, Captain, announced Navigator Sarah Chen, her fingers dancing over the control panel. We'll achieve stable orbit in approximately 10 minutes. Elena nodded, a mix of excitement and apprehension coursing through her veins. This mission was unprecedented, the first human expedition to a potentially life-bearing exoplanet beyond their solar system. Years of technological advancements had finally made such a journey possible, and the weight of humanity's hopes rested squarely on their shoulders. Dr. Kojima, Elena called out to the ship's exobiologist, any updates on those anomalous readings we detected? Dr. Hideo Kojima looked up from his station, his brow furrowed in concentration. Affirmative, Captain. The energy signatures we're picking up from the planet's oceans are unlike anything we've ever seen. They're too regular to be natural and too complex to be merely geological. I believe we may be dealing with intelligent life. Elena finished, her voice barely above a whisper. The bridge fell silent as the implications of this revelation sank in. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now, on the cusp of potentially answering that age-old question, the crew of the Poseidon found themselves both thrilled and terrified. As the ship settled into orbit, Elena addressed her crew. Ladies and gentlemen, we've trained for this moment. Let's proceed with caution and remember our primary directive. Peaceful contact and scientific discovery. Prepare the aquatic lander for deployment. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. The ship's advanced aquatic lander, nicknamed Nautilus, was prepped for its descent to the planet's vast oceans. A team of 4 was selected for this historic mission. Elena herself, Dr. Kojima, marine biologist Dr. Aisha Okafor, and security officer Lieutenant Jack Harper. As they donned their sleek, high-tech diving suits, designed to withstand the pressure of Aquarius 7's deep oceans, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. They were about to plunge into alien waters, possibly to meet an entirely new form of intelligent life. The descent was smooth, the lander cutting through the planet's atmosphere with precision. As they broke through the cloud cover, the team gasped in unison. Below them stretched an endless expanse of turquoise water, broken only by the occasional archipelago of small islands. "It's beautiful," Aisha breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. The Nautilus splashed down gently, its advanced stabilizers keeping it steady in the alien sea. As the team prepared to disembark, their sensors suddenly came alive with activity. "Captain," Hideo called out, his voice tense with excitement, "I'm picking up multiple large life forms approaching our position. They're moving fast and with purpose." Elena's heart raced. This was it, the moment of truth. "Remember your training," she instructed her team. "We're here in peace. Let's hope they understand that." As they activated the lander's external lights and cameras, the alien ocean came to life before their eyes. Sleek, torpedo-like forms darted through the water with incredible grace and speed. At first glance, they resembled Earth's otters, but much larger, easily the size of dolphins. The creatures circled the lander, their movements betraying a clear intelligence and curiosity. Elena marveled at their iridescent fur, which seemed to shimmer with bioluminescent patterns. "Incredible," Aisha muttered, furiously taking notes. "They appear to be using those light patterns to communicate. It's like a living language." Suddenly, one of the creatures broke from the group and approached the lander's main viewport. It pressed a flipper-like appendage against the glass, its eyes, far more expressive than any Earth otter, locked onto Elena's. In that moment, a connection was made. Two intelligent species, separated by light years and millennia of evolution, acknowledged each other's existence for the first time. Elena slowly raised her hand, mimicking the creature's gesture. She pressed her palm against the inside of the viewport, directly opposite the alien's flipper. The creature's bioluminescent patterns pulsed rapidly, and Alina could have sworn she saw a flicker of understanding in its eyes. "Dr. Kojima," Alina said softly, not breaking eye contact with the alien, "begin transmitting the first contact package." The Poseidon's linguists and xenobiologists had prepared extensively for this moment, creating a series of mathematical and pictorial messages designed to establish basic communication with any form of intelligent life. As the data began to stream from the lander's external speakers, the aliens' reaction was immediate and astonishing. The water around them came alive with pulsating lights, a dazzling display of colors and patterns that left the human team awestruck. The aliens were clearly responding, attempting to communicate in their own unique way. This is beyond our wildest expectations," Hideo said, his voice filled with emotion. "They're not just intelligent, they're actively trying to engage with us." Over the next few hours, the team worked tirelessly to decipher the basics of the alien language. Progress was slow but steady, with both species showing remarkable patience and determination. By the time the Nautilus needed to return to the Poseidon for resupply, they had managed to establish a rudimentary form of communication. The aliens, which they had started calling Luminae due to their bioluminescent abilities, seemed just as eager to learn about the humans as the humans were to learn about them. As the lander began its ascent back to the orbiting ship, Alina felt a profound sense of hope and excitement. They had done it, made first contact with an alien species, and it had gone better than anyone could have dreamed. But as they broke the surface of Aquarius 7's endless ocean, none of them could have predicted the challenges and wonders that lay ahead. The journey of discovery had only just begun, and the universe, it seemed, had many more secrets to reveal. Cultural exchange. The following weeks aboard the UES Poseidon were a whirlwind of activity and discovery. Captain Alina Rodriguez found herself marveling at the progress they had made in such a short time. The initial breakthrough in communication with the Luminae had paved the way for increasingly complex interactions, and with each passing day, the two species grew to understand each other better. Dr. Hideo Kojima had been working around the clock, collaborating with the ship's AI to develop a more sophisticated translation algorithm. His efforts were paying off. They were now able to convey basic concepts and even some abstract ideas to their new aquatic allies. "Captain," Hideo called out excitedly one morning, his usually calm demeanor bubbling with enthusiasm, "I think we've had a major breakthrough. The Luminae have invited us to visit one of their underwater cities." Alina's eyebrows shot up in surprise. This was an unexpected development, and potentially a massive leap forward in their mission. "Are you certain, Doctor? There's no chance of misinterpretation." Hideo shook his head emphatically. "I've triple-checked the translation. They want to show us their home, their technology. It's an incredible opportunity, Captain." Alina pondered the implications. The risk was significant, but so was the potential reward. After a moment of deliberation, she made her decision. "All right, let's do it. Prepare the Nautilus for an extended dive. I want you, Dr. Okafor, and Lieutenant Harper with me again." As the team made their final preparations, Alina couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were about to become the first humans to visit an alien civilization on its home turf. The descent into Aquarius 7's depths was markedly different this time. A group of Luminae escorted the Nautilus, their bioluminescent patterns guiding the way through the darkening waters. As they plunged deeper, the true alienness of this world began to reveal itself. Massive structures loomed in the darkness, illuminated by a soft ethereal glow. Organic shapes blended seamlessly with what appeared to be advanced technology, creating a cityscape unlike anything the humans had ever seen. "My God," Aisha breathed, her face pressed against the viewport. "It's beautiful. Look at the integration of biological and technological elements. Their entire civilization seems to be in perfect harmony with their environment." As they approached what appeared to be a docking station, Alina marveled at the Luminae's engineering prowess. The structure adapted to the Nautilus's form, creating a perfect seal that allowed them to disembark safely. Stepping out into the alien city was a surreal experience. The humans found themselves in a large, bubble-like chamber filled with a breathable atmosphere. A group of Luminae waited for them, their bodies glistening with intricate light patterns that the translation algorithm interpreted as a warm welcome. Over the next few days, the human team was given a tour of the Luminae city. They witnessed marvels that challenged their understanding of science and technology. The Luminae had mastered a form of biotechnology that allowed them to shape living coral and other marine organisms into complex structures and even machines. "This is revolutionary," Hideo exclaimed as they watched a Luminae engineer manipulate a coral-like substance into a working computer. They're not just using technology, they're growing it. The Luminae, in turn, showed great interest in human technology. They were particularly fascinated by the concept of space travel, something their water-bound civilization had never achieved. As the cultural exchange deepened, Alina found herself forming a close bond with one of the Luminae leaders, a being they called Zephyr. Despite their physiological differences, Alina was struck by how similar they were in many ways: curious, compassionate, and driven by a desire to understand the universe around them. One evening, as they stood, or in Zephyr's case, floated, on a balcony overlooking the bioluminescent cityscape, Zephyr conveyed a message that took Alina by surprise. "Zephyr says their people have a proposal for us," Hideo translated, his eyes wide with excitement. "They want to form an alliance with humanity. They believe that by combining our knowledge and technologies, we could achieve great things together." Alina was stunned. This was far beyond the scope of their original mission, but the potential benefits were enormous. An alliance with an advanced alien civilization could propel humanity forward by centuries. "Tell them we're honored," Alina replied carefully. "But such a decision would need to be approved by our leaders back on Earth. We'll need time to communicate this proposal and receive a response." As Hideo relayed the message, Alina's mind raced with the implications. How would Earth react to this news? Would they embrace this opportunity, or would fear and suspicion win out? Their contemplation was suddenly interrupted by an urgent call from the Poseidon. Lieutenant Harper's voice crackled through Alina's communicator, tense and alarmed. "Captain, we've detected multiple unknown objects entering the system at high speed. They're on an intercept course with Aquarius 7. We think it might be some kind of invasion fleet." The mood in the chamber shifted instantly. The Luminae, picking up on the humans' sudden tension, began flashing rapid patterns of concern and inquiry. Alina's mind raced. They were facing a potential threat, not just to their mission, but to this entire peaceful civilization. As she looked at Zephyr and the other Luminae, beings who had welcomed them with open arms, or rather, fins, she knew they couldn't just stand by. "Hideo," she said, her voice firm with resolve, "tell our friends that we have a situation, and let them know that whatever happens, we stand with them." As Hideo began to translate, Alina steeled herself for what was to come. The journey of discovery had taken an unexpected and dangerous turn. Now they faced a true test of the newfound bond between humans and Luminae. The waters of Aquarius 7 were about to become a battleground, and the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. Looming threat. The tension aboard the UES Poseidon was palpable as Captain Alina Rodriguez and her team rushed back from the Luminae city. The ship's holographic displays were alight with activity, tracking the incoming unknown vessels as they entered the Aquarius 7 system. "Status report." Alina barked as she strode onto the bridge, still wearing her dive suit. Commander Yuki Tanaka, Alina's second-in-command, turned from her station. "Captain, we've identified 7 large vessels and numerous smaller craft. Their technology is unlike anything in our database. They're not responding to any of our hails." Alina's jaw tightened. "Any hostile actions?" "Not yet, but their formation suggests offensive intent. They'll reach Aquarius 7's orbit in approximately 6 hours. Elena nodded, her mind racing. They were woefully outgunned if this turned into a firefight. The Poseidon was an exploration vessel, not a warship, but they couldn't just abandon the Luminae to their fate. Open a channel to Earth. We need to inform command of the situation and request immediate backup. Elena turned to Dr. Kojima. Hideo, I need you to explain the situation to the Luminae. See if they have any defensive capabilities we can utilize. As the crew sprang into action, Elena felt the weight of responsibility bearing down on her. The next few hours would determine the fate of not just their mission, but potentially 2 entire civilizations. The response from Earth was swift but not encouraging. The nearest military vessel was weeks away at best. They were on their own. Meanwhile, Hideo's conversation with the Luminae revealed both promising and concerning information. The aquatic aliens had never encountered hostile extraterrestrial life before and had no space-based defenses. However, they did possess advanced biotechnology that could potentially be adapted for defensive purposes. As the unknown fleet drew nearer, Elena gathered her senior staff and Luminae representatives for an emergency strategy session. We're facing an unknown enemy with superior numbers and firepower, Elena began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. But we have 2 significant advantages: the element of surprise and the unique environment of Aquarius 7. She gestured to the holographic display of the water world. The Luminae have agreed to help us modify some of their biotech for defensive purposes. We're going to turn this entire planet into one giant trap. Over the next few hours, humans and Luminae worked feverishly to implement their desperate plan. Using the Luminae's ability to rapidly grow and shape organic matter, they created a network of massive tentacle-like structures beneath the planet's ocean surface. These were connected to electromagnetic pulse generators, hastily constructed using a combination of human and Luminae technology. The plan was audacious: allow the invaders to enter the planet's atmosphere, then activate the biomechanical network to disable their ships with a massive, planet-wide EMP burst. It was a long shot, but it was all they had. As the deadline approached, Elena stood on the bridge of the Poseidon, watching the incoming fleet with a mixture of dread and determination. Beside her floated Zephyr, the Luminae leader, its bioluminescent patterns reflecting the tension of the moment. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the UES Poseidon," she broadcast on all frequencies. "Unknown fleet, you are entering protected space. State your intentions immediately, or we will be forced to take defensive action." The response came not in words, but in actions. The lead ships of the alien fleet began to power up what were clearly weapon systems. "So be it," Elena muttered. She turned to her communications officer. "Send the signal." Moments later, the oceans of Aquarius 7 lit up with an otherworldly glow. The massive biomechanical network activated, sending out a pulse of energy that rippled through the atmosphere and into space. The effect on the invading fleet was immediate and dramatic. Ships began to lose power, their lights flickering out as they drifted helplessly in space. Smaller craft that had entered the atmosphere plummeted towards the ocean surface. For a moment, it seemed like their desperate gambit had paid off. But then, Elena noticed something that made her blood run cold. The largest ship in the alien fleet, presumably their flagship, remained operational. "How is that possible?" Commander Tanaka exclaimed. "That EMP should have knocked out everything in the system." Before anyone could respond, the alien flagship opened fire. A beam of energy lanced out, striking the Poseidon's shields with devastating force. "Shields down to 60%. The tactical officer reported. "Another hit like that, and we're done for." Elena's mind raced. They had one shot at this, one chance to save themselves and the Luminae. Her eyes fell on the planet below, and suddenly an idea formed. "Helm, take us into the atmosphere. Now," she ordered. "Hideo, tell the Luminae to prepare for Emergency Plan Delta." As the Poseidon plunged towards the ocean surface, with the alien flagship in hot pursuit, Alina silently prayed that her crazy plan would work. They were about to find out if humanity's ingenuity and the Luminae's unique abilities would be enough to turn the tide of this unexpected war. The fate of two worlds now hung in the balance, with the waters of Aquarius 7 about to become the backdrop for a battle that would determine the future of interstellar relations. As they broke through the cloud cover, Alina steeled herself for what was to come. The true test of their newfound alliance was about to begin. Battle for Aquarius. The UES Poseidon plunged through Aquarius 7's atmosphere, its hull groaning under the strain of maneuvers it was never designed to perform. Behind them, the massive alien flagship pursued relentlessly, its weapon systems charging for another devastating attack. Brace for impact. Alina shouted as the Poseidon broke the ocean's surface with a tremendous splash. The ship shuddered violently, but its reinforced hull held. As they submerged, Alina's plan began to unfold. The Luminae, alerted by Hideo's message, sprang into action. Massive bioluminescent creatures, each the size of a whale, began to swarm around the Poseidon, their bodies pulsing with energy. What in the world? Commander Tanaka gasped, staring at the view screen in awe. Alina allowed herself a small smile. Emergency Plan Delta. The Luminae call them Guardians, bioengineered creatures designed to protect their cities from natural disasters. We're about to see if they can handle an alien invasion. The alien flagship, undeterred by the ocean, plunged in after them. As it entered the water, the Guardians attacked. They latched onto the massive ship with tentacle-like appendages, their bioluminescent bodies flaring with blinding light. They're overloading the ship's sensors, Hideo explained, monitoring the data from his station. And those appendages, they're not just for gripping. They're siphoning energy directly from the ship's systems. Alina nodded grimly. It was working, but it wouldn't be enough. The alien ship was simply too powerful. They needed something more. Dr. Okafor, Alina called out. You've been studying the Luminae's biotechnology. Is there any way we can amplify the Guardian's effect? Aisha's eyes lit up with sudden inspiration. The Coral Network. If we can link the Guardians to the planet-wide Coral communication system, we might be able to channel enough energy to completely overwhelm the alien ship's defenses. It was a long shot, but it was all they had. Alina gave the order, and the Poseidon moved deeper into the ocean, towards the heart of the Luminae's underwater civilization. The alien flagship followed, locked in a deadly dance with the swarming Guardians. As they approached the central coral hub, Zephyr and a group of Luminae engineers worked frantically to modify their systems. The plan was audacious. They would essentially turn the entire planet into one massive EMP device, with the Guardians acting as conduits. They're charging weapons again, Tanaka warned. The alien ship, despite the Guardians' best efforts, was preparing for another attack. Now or never, Alina muttered. She turned to Hideo. Tell them to activate the system. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, the ocean around them erupted with light. Every coral structure, every bioluminescent creature, even the very water itself seemed to glow with an otherworldly energy. The Guardians attached to the alien ship flared with blinding intensity. Energy arced between them, forming a web of pure power that enveloped the massive vessel. For a few tense seconds, the ship's shields held. Then, with a silent flash that illuminated the depths, the alien flagship's systems overloaded. Its lights flickered and died, and the once mighty vessel began to drift lifelessly in the alien sea. A cheer erupted on the Poseidon's bridge. They had done it. Against all odds, the combined efforts of humanity and the Luminae had prevailed. But Alina's relief was short-lived. As the adrenaline of battle faded, new concerns took its place. Who were these invaders? Would they return with an even larger force? And how would this battle change the relationship between humanity and the Luminae? As if reading her thoughts, Zephyr approached, its bioluminescent patterns conveying a mixture of gratitude and concern. Hideo translated. Zephyr says that while they're grateful for our help, this battle has shown them the dangers that exist in the wider galaxy. They're asking if we would consider a more permanent alliance, not just cultural exchange, but mutual defense. Elena took a deep breath, considering the implications. This was far beyond her authority as a starship captain, but she knew her next words could shape the future of both their species. Tell Zephyr that while I can't make that decision alone, I will personally advocate for this alliance with my superiors. What we've accomplished here today proves that together, we're capable of overcoming challenges that neither of us could face alone. As Hideo relayed her words, Elena turned her gaze to the dormant alien flagship. For now, though, we have more immediate concerns. We need to secure that ship and find out who our new enemies are. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. The Poseidon's crew, working alongside the Luminae, managed to board the alien vessel. What they found inside would change everything they thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. The ship was unmanned, controlled entirely by an advanced AI. Its databanks spoke of a machine civilization that saw organic life as a threat to be eliminated. This hadn't been an invasion, it had been an extermination attempt. As Elena processed this chilling information, she realized that the alliance with the Luminae was no longer just a possibility. It was a necessity. Humanity and the Luminae would need each other if they were to survive in a galaxy far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. With determination in her eyes, Elena turned to her crew and their new allies. We've won this battle, but I fear the war has only just begun. It's time to prepare for what comes next. As they began to plan their next moves, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and excitement. The universe had proven to be more perilous than they had ever dreamed, but it had also shown them the incredible things they could achieve through cooperation and understanding. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. A new alliance. In the days following the battle, the waters of Aquarius 7 buzzed with activity. The UES Poseidon, now joined by a hastily assembled fleet of Earth's fastest ships, orbited the ocean world. On the planet's surface, or rather, beneath its waves, humans and Luminae worked tirelessly to understand the threat they had faced and prepare for what might come next. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood in a specially designed underwater conference room, a marvel of human and Luminae engineering. Around her were gathered the leaders of both species, admirals and politicians from Earth, connected via holographic projections, and the Luminae's Council of Elders, their bodies shimmering with patterns that conveyed a mix of concern and hope. Ladies and gentlemen, Elena began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. We stand at a crossroads. The discovery of this machine civilization changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the galaxy. She gestured to a holographic display showing the captured alien ship. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours, and their goals are clear: the eradication of all organic life. We managed to repel this first attack, but we must assume they will return, and in greater numbers. Zephyr, the Luminae leader who had become Elena's close ally, pulsed with a pattern that Hideo quickly translated. The Luminae agree. We have lived in peaceful isolation for millennia, but that era has come to an end. We must adapt or perish. Admiral Chen, the highest-ranking Earth official present, leaned forward in his holographic chair. Captain Rodriguez, you've proposed a formal alliance between Earth and Aquarius 7. While the benefits are clear, there are concerns. Our cultures, our very biologies, are vastly different. How can we be sure this partnership will work? Elena smiled, gesturing around the room. With all due respect, Admiral, look at what we've already accomplished. This room, the modifications to our ships allowing them to operate underwater, the advancements in our universal translators, all of this was achieved in a matter of weeks. Imagine what we could do with years of cooperation. She turned to Dr. Okafor, who stepped forward with an excited gleam in her eye. We've only scratched the surface of what we can learn from each other, Aisha explained. The Luminae's biotechnology could revolutionize our medical science, our agriculture, even our approach to space travel. And our experience with spacefaring technology could help the Luminae extend their reach beyond their oceans. As if to emphasize the point, a group of young Luminae swam by the conference room's window, excitedly chattering about the human ships they had just toured. Their enthusiasm was mirrored by the human crew members teaching them, the universal translator struggling to keep up with their rapid exchange of ideas. The Earth leaders conferred among themselves, their holographic forms flickering as they debated. Finally, Admiral Chen spoke again. "Very well, Captain. You've made your case. We are prepared to move forward with this alliance, pending approval from our respective governments." A ripple of bioluminescence swept through the Luminae contingent, their equivalent of applause. Zephyr's patterns glowed with what Elena had come to recognize as joy and determination. "Then let today mark the beginning of a new era," Elena said, her voice filled with emotion. "The Terran Luminae Alliance is born." The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. As news of the alliance spread, both Earth and Aquarius 7 saw an unprecedented exchange of knowledge and culture. Human scientists marveled at Luminae biotechnology, while Luminae engineers eagerly absorbed centuries of human spacefaring experience. The Poseidon, once a simple exploration vessel, was retrofitted to serve as a joint command center. Its hull was enhanced with Luminae bioarmor, capable of adapting to both the pressures of deep space and ocean depths. The ship's computer systems were integrated with Luminae coral-based quantum computers, creating an AI that bridged the gap between their two forms of intelligence. But it wasn't all about preparing for war. As humans and Luminae worked together, they discovered shared passions for art, music, and exploration. Human composers collaborated with Luminae bioluminescent artists to create stunning audiovisual symphonies. Luminae water shapers taught human engineers new ways of thinking about hydrodynamics, leading to breakthroughs in spacecraft design. 6 months after the battle, Elena stood on the bridge of the newly christened TLS Harmony, the first ship built jointly by humans and Luminae. As she looked out at the stars, Zephyr floated beside her in a specially designed suit that allowed the aquatic being to survive in the ship's air-filled environment. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Elena said, gesturing to the vast expanse of space before them. "And to think, just a year ago, we thought we were alone out here." Zephyr's suit translated its bioluminescent response. "We were both alone, Elena, but not anymore. Now we face the future together." As if on cue, the ship's sensors lit up. A distant star system, previously unexplored, was showing signs of artificial structures, neither human nor Luminae in origin. Elena shared a look with Zephyr, seeing her own mix of excitement and apprehension reflected in the Luminae's eyes. "Well, my friend," she said with a smile, "shall we go introduce ourselves to the neighbors?" Zephyr's body flashed with patterns of agreement and enthusiasm. As Elena gave the order to set course for the unknown system, she felt a profound sense of hope. Yes, there were dangers out there, terrifying, implacable foes that sought their destruction. But there was also wonder, discovery, and the potential for new friendships. The Terran Luminae Alliance had been forged in the heat of battle, but its true strength lay in the bonds of understanding and cooperation that had grown between two very different species. As the Harmony accelerated towards their next adventure, Elena knew that whatever challenges awaited them in the vast ocean of stars, they would face them together, human and Luminae, united in their quest for knowledge and their determination to forge a better future for all. The journey that had begun with a simple exploration mission had transformed into something far greater, a testament to the power of curiosity, courage, and compassion. And as they ventured into the unknown, the crew of the Harmony carried with them the hopes and dreams of two worlds, ready to write the next chapter in their shared cosmic odyssey.